Hi, I'm Ashland Alvarez.
My name is Austin Hollifield.
Colin Marfia.
My name is Fiona Fox.
Emily Haynes.
It's Kayla Cordell.
My name is Kayla Plunkett.
Hey, I'm Ben Phillips.
My name is Ashley Mako.
Marin Fallows.
My name's Aurora Thomas.
My name is Stephanie Clark.
Hi, my name is Ashley Keneally.
I'm Isabel Allred.
Hi guys, my name's Kylie.
I'm Addie Stevens.
My name is Emily LaRussa.
Hi, I'm Louis Gill.
It's Gia.
I'm Serena Grossi.
My name is Riley Cagle.
I started when I was a freshman in Theater 1, and I didn't really get super involved in the program until my sophomore year when I joined AIDA, and that kind of just set it all off for me. I was like, okay, I'm in all the way now, and I just really, kicked it off from there, and that's pretty much how I got started.
And I got into theater because my sister forced me to, and that's the only reason.
The first time I remember doing theater was in elementary school when they had those plays that they do with each class, and they were forced to do it because they were like, oh, we want kids to be in the arts, and so they'd cast you in whatever role they thought people would do the work for, and so there was those ones with the classes, and I remember I was a teacher's pet, I'll admit it, I was, but I always got cast as a bigger role, and so it was always kind of fun. It was fun to be in the spotlight. I liked attention. I liked attention. That was me. And the one that I remember the most, definitely, 3rd grade, Sombrero for Santa, me and Ashley Keneally played Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and I'll forever remember that was my first time meeting Ashley, or ever interacting with her, and it was a very joyful, interesting experience. But that got me involved in theater in the first place, kind of put the idea in my head. And then in middle school, I was like, oh, there's an actual drama program. I'm going to join. That looks fun. And then I got to high school and Rising Stars happened, and Rising Stars is awesome. And so then that happened, and that was cool.
I fell in love with theater when I was in 5th grade. I saw the 25th anniversary of the Phantom of the Opera with my dad, and it was so cool to me how they could tell a story through music. I had never really thought of that before, and it was kind of a whole new world for me. And then in middle school, I saw my sister in We Will Rock You, and that was the first heritage show I had ever seen, and it blew my mind. I just remember thinking, whoa, I want to be a part of that.
I first knew I wanted to be involved in our theater when I was really little and I saw Into the Woods. I just knew that I wanted to be part of making that magic.
The reason that I got involved with Rising Stars was because I had a lot of friends that were involved already, and I loved the shows, so I thought, how could you go wrong? But I've always loved theater, so it definitely was not out of the blue.
I got involved in the Rising Stars because of Jackie. She took me under her wing from the beginning and showed me the ropes to house crew. And then I went up from there, and so I definitely have her to thank for getting me involved from the beginning.
And I first got involved in theater when I joined sound crew for Titus Andronicus, and I had already known some people in theater at the time, so I just wanted to join it and play with some cool technology and move some sliders up and down on the soundboard.
What made me want to join Rising Stars was my passion for musical theater growing up. But what really hit me was when I was in 7th grade, I snuck in with my sister's productions class to see the previews of Les Mis. And I saw all of these amazing performers on stage, and I thought to myself, I have to do this when I get to high school.
I got into theater because of my dad, obviously. That's kind of a obvious one, but I think growing up with the shows has kind of made me realize how different theater is from everywhere else, because I thought that theater was a normal thing, and then I realized that apparently just nerds do it, but I always thought that everybody in high school did it because that was the only thing I was exposed to. And seeing the family that was created there, and the magical shows they put on, and just how welcoming everyone was to me throughout my entire childhood was just really inspiring to me, and really made me want to be a part of that, instead of you know, taking a different path, because I know it's kind of like a no-brainer. Oh, Miranda is going to do theater because of her dad, but you know, a lot of kids don't want to follow in their parents' footsteps, but my dad's pretty cool.
And I joined Rising Stars for these past 4 years, 8 shows, because when I was little, my grandma always had these shows on television, like these recordings of musicals or plays and everything, and I just fell in love with that magic, and I always wanted to be a part of that magic.
What made me get involved in the Rising Stars Club was in 7th grade. I was involved at the drama program at Adams, and we were invited to go watch the matinee shows for both. In the same year, it was Almost Maine and Les Mis, and this was the first time I've ever seen any heritage show. And I sat down and I just watched for like 2 hours, both shows. And I was just floored by how like wonderful these actors were. And it was just like a really magical experience to be able to watch such a great production. And it really made me look up to the people in the high school. And I was just wanted it to be my goal to be like those people when I was in high school. And even then, even if that really didn't convince me to get involved in the Rising Stars, at this point I had basically auditioned for Titus and I got in, which was really like crazy. I was very scared as a freshman. And then I was at walkthrough and I passed by the Rising Stars table, and I remember Zach Mendoza was sitting there, and him and I started talking, and it was just, he was very friendly. And then he was showing me what the papers were, and I was kind of shy, but like he was trying to get me to talk to him, and that really got me going. And then he pointed to the tech crew papers, and he was like, oh, and if you're interested, you could apply for crew. And I was like, oh no, I'm already in cast. I was just, I'm in ensemble. And he was like, oh, that's really awesome. And I can't wait to see you at rehearsals. And that was just so nice of him, and it really was the first time
I joined the Rising Stars because I wanted to join something else on campus, and I wanted to meet new people and make new friends. And that's exactly what I did. I was a part of the Little Mermaid production, and I was on paint crew.
So I always kind of knew that I wanted to do the Rising Stars, like going into it. I've been doing theater for over 10 years. It was 2009 was my first show, and I fell in love with it and fell in love with theater, and I've been watching my sister do theater since forever. And so I just kind of growing up and going to shows it was just kind of like yeah, I'm gonna do this, or at least I'm gonna try to do this, and I'm glad I succeeded.
And I think I really got into Rising Stars and theater in general was because I wanted to do something new. So I had come from band and I really didn't know what I was doing, but you know, it was very fun because it really brought me out of my shell, and it kind of turned me to this new person to where I would I really felt like I could do anything, honestly, in like theater too, because I just felt really confident in myself, and like I hadn't really felt like that in a while. And I think theater really helped, especially Mr. Fallows, so I really am gonna miss that. That's definitely one thing that I think I really liked about Rising Stars and theater.
I got involved in Rising Stars during my junior year when I was in Theater 3. I was with the big leagues and kids that did shows, and I was so nervous that they were not gonna like me, that I wasn't good enough, all that fear that we have when meeting people we've looked up to since we were freshmen. But in reality, everyone in that class was so kind and really let me know that I was totally welcome to join the Rising Stars. So I did, and I've probably one of my favorite things I've done all throughout high school.
What first got me involved in theater, my sister, she was the one who really pushed me to do theater. She was into theater when she was in high school, and so I ended up taking the class, but I didn't do any of the shows my freshman year. But one of my best friends, Emily Haynes, she was part of the shows for hair and makeup, and she was like, Addie, just do it, you're gonna love it, like, just trust me. And so I was like, okay, like, I guess I'll do it. So I signed up for crew, and my addiction began.
I got started in theater pretty young. My parents saw my love for performing and they put me through some theater classes. So when I got to high school, I knew I wanted to join Rising Stars right away. But that love for performing switched to crew, and I did not want to leave when I started crew.
So what got me into theater in general was, since I was a kid, I've always liked entertaining people. Started off with, making videos, putting on little scripts I wrote with my brother, and it carried on with me up till high school, when I knew I actually wanted to put that plan into action. In high school is when I really started to think, what do I really want as a career the rest of my life? And all my career thoughts always had to do with, performing arts. It varied from acting, music, to filming, and, I really found that acting was the best for me, and I found a lot of passion in that, and I knew I could carry on with that. So as you all know, I did not go to Heritage all 4 years. I went to Liberty for a few years, and I tried to get involved in theater with that. I got involved, I did a few, classes there, but from what I heard the Rising Stars could give me definitely a better experience, especially just giving me a fresh start, switching to high schools. Thus, I switched high schools and became a Rising Star, and was able to make it into both plays this year. First, I played Ensemble 3 in Trap, which was an amazing show that we did an amazing job. I got lots of good notes in becoming a better actor that I still apply to today. And then I was an ensemble/dancer in The Little Mermaid, which was a very fun show. And these shows definitely applied to my experience, as well as Theater 4, which, I got to do Showcase and all these other performances and etc. Which definitely honed my acting skills. And I definitely apply them to today, and I'll definitely apply them into the near future.
I honestly, when I think about it, I feel like me applying to theater in high school was just second nature. I was involved in middle school a little bit with like going to see shows, which was always really fun. But I never got involved there and like immersed myself into the culture. And when I got to high school, I just applied. I don't remember why I submitted my application for Titus. And I don't even remember what that looked like, but I just remember I wanted to be a part of theater. I just did.
What probably got me involved in the first place was my mom always told me to join theater, and I was like, okay. And then I don't know, I was mainly band and choir, but I always saw that people were really happy in theater, and I was like, wow, that sounds like a really good time. And I just was like, screw it, high school is new. And I signed up as a freshman, and I've loved it ever since.
My favorite memory, I have a lot of favorite memories. I love them all, but when I was a junior during the Sting, I had to kiss Henry Ashcroft for a scene. And it wasn't even a big deal or anything, but we didn't know we were gonna kiss until we got on stage and we're running the scene in front of half the cast, and Fallows goes, okay, now then you're gonna kiss her. And then we were both like, sweet. So we go to run the scene and he goes to kiss me, but he misses, kisses my nose, and then pulls back and proceeds to scream, oh my god, I kissed your nose. And everybody just starts laughing. I start laughing, I have to walk away because I'm so red in the face because it was absolutely hilarious and embarrassing at the same time. And I look over at Mr. Fallows and he just has his head in his hands and he's shaking his head and he pulls his hands away from his face. And he was so red from laughing that I couldn't help but laugh, and it was just one of the best moments.
My favorite theater memory was having a lightsaber fight on top of the Aida set after me, Curtis, and Josh had finished it, and feeling that accomplishment that this is something I made from just a bunch of wood, and knowing that theater was what I wanted to do with my high school time.
My favorite Rising Stars memory probably would be, I told this one at senior circle, and so the seniors already know it, but during Rock of Ages, there was a rehearsal that we were at, and it was like more the lead characters, but there was a few people working there. The dancers, the Venus a Go-Go girls, they were there working on the dance, yada yada, but it was like the leads and the small characters, like dialogue people, they were there working a scene, and Daniel Simone and I were working a scene, and we were doing that, and then he wanted to work a scene with Olivia, so he was doing that on stage with Fallows. I was sitting in the house, I was just kind of watching, like, observing, like, what else was I gonna do? And Miss Pedrati, like, bursts onto the stage, and she's like, there was, like, just an Arrowhead water bottle on the stage, like, it was maybe a little bit less than half full, but there's no cap on it, and she's like, whose water bottle is that? And then, without hesitation, without a care in the world, Daniel Simone goes, it belongs to Joe. And it's like, her, not realizing, falls into the trap, who's Joe? And I'm pretty sure he had a death wish, or he was just too oblivious to know that he was stepping into a trap, but he stares at her and goes, Joe Mama! And everyone in the room loses it. Miss Pedrati, he's just standing there staring at him, and then just like this look of just utter defeat just passes over her face, and she just like walks off stage, and then everyone else in the room is laughing, and it was such a great moment. It was so funny to witness. Hilarious, delicious comedy, like mwah, chef's kiss. I'm gonna put part 4 in another video because I do not remember the 4th question.
One of the top ones is being backstage with Serena and Ashley for the finale in The Little Mermaid. We were all, dead, so we couldn't be on stage singing with everyone, so we would just sing together, and it was so like heartfelt. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just our own little family, and it was so nice.
Picking a favorite memory is so hard because I've made countless memories these past few years, but I just love being backstage closing night during the musicals because it's such a surreal feeling knowing that you won't get to experience that ever again, and people are graduating, and it's so emotional, and you just get to look back on the past year and realize that you're just proud of everything that everyone has done, and it's just a great feeling to just be backstage. And especially singing and dancing with the ensemble backstage is so fun. I have the best times.
My favorite memory is when me and my girls were just singing and dancing in the dressing room and having so much fun.
My favorite memory was probably, well, one of my favorite memories is when we did the trick or treat so kids can eat. And I got to drive a bunch of my friends and go to people's houses. And it was an adventure, and then afterwards we had a party at Emily's house, and that was so much fun. We did karaoke and just hung out and ate food, and I definitely bonded with a lot of people at that party too. Definitely was a good time, so I'm really happy and thankful that I got to spend my Halloween that way.
My favorite memory would have to be just being able to go in during the shows, seeing as I was house manager, so I was in the lobby, and I could go in and I can stand by the doors on the sides or sit in the handicap seats if they weren't full. I could just watch different scenes each night, and I absolutely loved watching everyone on stage. And so those moments that I could just sit in and watch, or right before when someone was entering from the side and they would like give me a little wave or high five, those were always some of the best moments.
My favorite memory from Rising Stars was probably my first improv show this year. It was really fun, lots of cool, dope people that I just vibe with, and like it was just such a fun day.
My favorite memory of Rising Stars was sophomore year. We were doing Aida, and they hosted a Mamma Mia movie night. And I just remember during the post-credits, the performances started happening, and everyone just got up out of their seats from the house and ran to the stage, and all of a sudden an impromptu dance party just happened. It was one of my favorite memories because at the time I just felt so carefree, and it was so fun, and I just remember thinking, you can't get anything like this. You can't make a memory like this anywhere else but in theater.
I would say my favorite memory from the Rising Stars is doing The Little Mermaid and doing opening night. This is gonna sound bad, but I didn't really enjoy working on The Little Mermaid. It was really stressful for me, and I put way too much pressure on myself. And on opening night, my dad came up to me and he always says, "See ball, hit ball" to me. And then after that, we do that before every show. But for this time, he stopped and looked at me and he goes, "Just remember to have fun. Because if you're not having fun, the audience isn't having fun. And you already know how to do your part. And you already know that you can do a good job. And so now you just have to let go and be Ariel." And I had such a fun time. And I felt like I was actually falling in love with Prince Eric, and Flounder was really my best friend. And it was so much fun, and the applause we got after was probably the most rewarding I've ever gotten.
When we were in Rock of Ages, my little brother came to see the show, and he was so happy and he was so excited. And I just see him backstage just going like this all through the show, like, "What?" and laughing and everything. And then I bring him backstage, and he sees his favorite character, this cowboy, and he's just like, he's just so excited, but not saying a thing because he's shy. It was so cute, and it was so great to see that happiness in someone I cared about, and even people I don't care about.
There's a lot of memories that are just, I hold dear to my heart, and some of them I feel a little sad that I don't remember as well as others, but I have two memories in specific that I would say are my favorite. One is a little funnier, one's more sincere, so Ashley, if you're watching this, you could choose whatever one fits better. I don't really mind. The first one was, it started around trap. I was listening to this song, and it was called Wuthering Heights, and it's a stupid song, but I love that song, and I started listening to it. One day while I'm getting my normal pike eyebrows on, I play it for the girls in the hair and makeup room, and we're all like, "Oh, this is really weird, but like kind of good." And so every day we started to listen to it more and more, like every time they did my makeup. And then it even carried over to Little Mermaid, and all the girls in the cast got super into it. Most of the crew girls got into it, and it was just really nice to see that something I thought was really weird but really loved, something that like I would feel embarrassed to show anyone else outside of theater, like we embraced it, and that made me feel really awesome. A more sincere memory was during my junior year. I was having a very rough time. I was going through the junior year's the worst year of high school phase, and there was just this one day where Drew Davis noticed that I was feeling a little down, and I was just generally a little lost. And then when I got home, I got a text from Drew, and he was just saying like, "Hey, I just want you to know that we all really care about you, and I just want to know that you're okay, and like I just want to check in on you and see if you're okay." And I don't know, I feel like that experience really reflects a lot of the club too, that we really just want to look out for each other, and that we really care about each other. And that moment just, it really made my month, really, not even my day.
One of my favorite memories from being a part of the Rising Stars would have to be listening to music, just jamming out with my girls, and just living in the moment with them, and of course painting and like just getting all messy with our pancake batter mixture.
So I have a lot of favorite memories from this program, but I've already said a lot of them at different senior things, but I don't think this is one that I've said because it's kind of a weird memory, but I like it. I like it now at least. At the time I didn't. It was the Ashland Trip my freshman year. Was a very strange experience for me. Because I wasn't very social on that trip at all, which if you know me now, might be a weird thing to think about because I'm very all over the place in this theater, but I was not always. I'm still awkward, but I was very much more awkward then. Anyways, we don't need to talk about all that. But I was on the Ashland Trip, and it was like the third day, and I was like kind of giving up on making new connections and social interactions. I was just kind of done. So it was the day that I think we were doing like a tour around all the OSF stuff, and we were waiting outside, and it was raining, and I was sad. It was pretty much freshman year. So I was just like standing out there, and I had like my earbuds in, which I didn't usually, but I just like wanted to listen to My Chemical Romance and just vibe. I just wanted my space. And then Isaiah Youngblood comes up to me, and he's basically like, you look really off-putting with your earbuds in. And I was like, what? He's like, you look like you're mad at everyone, like all the time. And I was like, didn't want to tell him that I was mad at everyone all the time, so I was just like, oh shoot, sorry. And then he was like, you're gonna be my friend. And I was like, no, that's okay. And he was like, no, you're gonna be my friend. So then he followed up on that, because then he sat with me for, I think it was Shakespeare in Love that night. He sat next to me for that show. And he was talking to me before, and he was like, you have really long arms for like the proportions of the rest of your body. And I was like, that's not anything I've ever noticed. And he was like, and your hands are gigantic. And that is something a lot of people have pointed out now, but that was the first time I've gotten that. I don't think they're that big, but okay. And he like compared our hand sizes. He's like, yeah, your hands are huge. So now I am friends with Isaiah Youngblood, and I am self-conscious about my hands, but it's okay. It was actually, I actually like that memory a lot now.
My favorite memory is definitely after Trap, when Kayla Plunkett, she gave me a rose and she called it a plant, because I was a plant in Trap, and she was like, I have a plant for my favorite plant, and that made me so happy. And it felt really good to know that I was being appreciated, even though it was something small. I felt like we're all a part of something. There's no small roles or big roles. Mr. Fallow says that, and honestly it's true, because we all support one another.
My favorite memory from Rising Stars was definitely the 2019 Ashland Trip. It was so incredibly fun. I feel like everyone was just in such a good mood, and we were just vibing hardcore together. Between Two Knees is still the funniest thing, like one of the funniest things I have seen like ever. It was just such a great experience, and something that none of us expected, and it's just something I think that everyone still loves to this day.
My favorite memory is so hard. Okay, it's like, how do you choose one? Okay, it's so hard. Okay, one of my favorite memories would be when I was in sophomore year, and Ian Pinella, he was the co-head for lights, and so he was taking down a light, and the lights are attached to this kind of clamp thing you have to unscrew, and so he was taking it down, and you have to use a wrench with those things. So he was unscrewing it, but it wasn't moving because someone had tightened it too much, and he was determined to get it off, and so he had the wrench, and he just kept going at it, and he was determined, and we were all just watching in this kind of like, because we were all just kind of like, most of us were just like sophomores, and we were just like, and he kept tightening it, and just really he was going at it, and he twisted off the metal, and it flew off the grid. Okay, we were just standing there like, and then we just totally flipped out, and then everyone was just like, you just twisted it off. And to this day, it's still on there. It's still attached. But you know what? Now it's being used to hang up a new lighting system. So, you know, there's a moral to the story. If you mess up, it's gonna be fine. Okay? All mistakes can be fixed. So, there you go.
I'd say my favorite memory from crew would probably be going on the roof with Keely and Mr. Fallows to put up the trap sign, and getting to do that every so often to switch the sign out to reveal the name of the play. And I'd say that that was pretty awesome because I never thought that I'd get to go on the roof of the theater. How many people get to say they went on the roof of the theater? So that was a great memory for me.
And one of my greatest memories of Rising Stars was just how welcome I felt joining it, you know. Just when I got there, it was a new school, it was lots of new faces, but I just felt so comfortable in the matter of a day, and I just felt like I belonged there. And I feel like anyone who's trying to join will just definitely find their place there.
I have so many memories with our club and with our shows, and it's really hard to pick just one because I feel like I've met so many people, and every year I've had a senior who I feel like really grounds me. For Aida, it was Erica. For Government Inspector, it was Curtis. For the Sting, it was Faith. I love the memories I have with every person because I feel like they bring something unique to each show. But just great memories singing with the prop stars and closing the door when we're talking drama or listening to some crazy music. And then one memory I have recently is from Trap when we were in the costume closet. Kenzie and I were distributing glasses, and I was looking at all of the posters in Miss Vance's closet, and I made eye contact with the Macros poster, and I don't know what came over me because it was before a show. I was just looking at that poster, and I just went, Macbeth. I just said it, and I don't know why I said it, and we freaked out because I went and covered my mouth right after because I don't know what came over me, but Kenzie and I laughed so hard, and I had to go outside and spin around and spit, but it was just really funny.
My favorite memory would probably have to be I don't know, doing my first show. It was I don't know, it was just it was really nice. And my favorite memory from the first show was opening night when we all had dinner together at Diggers, and they all applauded when I came in. I thought that was just really nice. And I don't know, it was just it made I just thought I was this kid on paint crew that was just there doing her thing, painting stuff. But when they all clapped for me, I don't know, it just it made me feel really important. And that's when I kind of was oh, for the good of the troop, everybody's important. And yeah.
The thing that I really want to pass down to other theater members, people that are joining the program and people that are continuing the program, take care of each other, because at the end of the day, for a lot of us, we're all each other has, in the sense that theater gives us a place where we belong, and it's so important to keep that going. And we've done a good job of it so far, but always include each other, no matter what, because theater does have a tendency to sometimes get a little cliquey, and we forget that it's a bigger community of all of us and not just the friends that we're used to. So yeah, I love you guys all.
I mean, I've done it for 4 years. Best advice I can give anyone is just not have an ego. Just have fun. Don't fight with anyone. Don't hold any grudges. Just chill. Just chill out and have fun, and that's only advice I can give.
Something that I learned in Rising Stars is definitely just to give it your all. When I look back on my life, I like to look back on my high school experiences that I've had. I like to look back and see that I don't have any regrets. Rising Stars taught me to give it my all and go for it, and that's helped me live without any regrets, which I really like. Well, I do have regrets like only a few, but they're not Rising Stars related. And so just in Rising Stars and in life in general, but Rising Stars definitely taught me this. Give everything you do, give it your all, and life will work out how it's supposed to work out. Life finds a way. It'll always find a way to be how it's supposed to be. And as long as you do your part, give your all, and live life how you want to live it, life will be good too.
One piece of advice I have that I wish I had known when I joined as a freshman, I was just alone by myself a lot of the time in the costume closet working, and I wish I'd had the courage to be more outgoing and talk to more people. They all seemed so big and scary because they were all the cool kids, but like, they're so nice. Everyone here is so nice, and we look out for each other, and I love our club for that.
A piece of advice I wish I knew that I would love to pass down would probably be just to get involved and talk to people, because you meet the most amazing people through this program, and I've built such amazing friendships and relationships with people that could last a lifetime. And just by going to Mud Bowl and Ensemble Day, you meet such amazing people, and you have the weirdest but the best conversations, and you always end up having so much fun no matter what happens. So yeah, definitely get involved, go to everything you can, because there's definitely been things where I've been kind of hesitant to go to, and then I go and I have so much fun.
Something that I would pass down would be just don't be nervous. Go in, take initiative, and make friends and have fun, because they will love you.
Advice that I would give to people next year or that are going to be new to Rising Stars is that don't be afraid to just be yourself and make new friends. I know it can be kind of scary, like going into a club or a group of people and being the new person, but if you just are genuinely yourself and are open and are friendly, then people are going to just love on you back, and you're going to find this whole family that you never knew was there before. So my advice is to just jump in and enjoy the ride.
But the biggest thing I learned in the last 4 years was to just be present and be there and get the jobs done that need to get done, but don't expect anything in return. Because we all work together as a family, and each member of the family has their responsibilities. And if everyone went in expecting a reward in return, then no one would get their job done. So just don't expect anything and be present, because in those unexpected and unplanned moments is when you learn the biggest lessons and gain the most memories. And so I just want to say, be present, be there always, and get the job done.
What I learned that's important is that sometimes you won't understand something, or sometimes things won't work, and you just have to figure it out. And you have to get good at figuring it out, and you have to learn how to enjoy yourself while figuring things out when they don't work. So yeah, that's my message. Stay hydrated too. That's one thing I learned. Stay hydrated, stay strapped, stay woke. So
that kind of leads on to my advice, is to let yourself have fun. Never take yourself too seriously. I'm the improv general right now, and my biggest advice, like for auditioning, is to just have so much fun. Because if you're taking it too seriously, like the audience and your peers can tell what you're thinking, and people are attracted to people who are themselves, and I think that's why theater is so special, because everybody is okay being different. And if everybody was the same, life wouldn't work. I think having fun is more important than getting a good part. And having fun comes from working hard. You're never going to meet better people than you will in theater. It's just true, and you get the energy that you give out. You get that back. And so if you give out the energy that you are willing to work, and you're there to have fun and just create a great show, then you're gonna get that back, and you're gonna make friends that will change your life forever. it's about rising stars. It's not about stars that are already shining as bright as they ever will. You'll grow more than you ever think you could. You'll learn things about yourself that you never knew was possible. And not just from my dad, who's pretty insightful, but just by meeting new people and just being a part of something that's bigger than yourself, that gives as much back to you as you give to it. Yeah, I think I was really nervous to graduate because it's been like my whole life. As long as I can remember, it's been theater in the Rising Stars specifically, and I didn't know how I would change after I left. And then I realized that I'm not losing the parts of me that I've gained through this program. I'm just going to grow more using the tools that I've learned here. So get involved now, all that jazz. Audition for the improv team, because I have a lot of faith in the next general, and I love the Rising Stars.
One thing I wish people knew before joining Rising Stars or during Rising Stars is that you have to bring your A game every day, which is exhausting, but there's people to help you just get through it.
Actually two things I would like to say to the future generations of the Rising Stars Club. Something I like to pass down is, one, be grateful, because we are so lucky to have this creative outlet to express ourselves and meet other people that are likewise but also so very different from ourselves, that we connect and that we're like a diverse group. It makes sense. We're so lucky to be able to have amazing directors like Fallows, Pedrati, Vance, Stacy, Emil. We're so lucky to have those people help us continue to do our best, and be grateful for the people around you and the opportunities this club gives you. Even minor things about the club you need to be grateful for, because gratitude is really the best form of appreciation. And another thing I would like to pass down is notice the little people, okay? So if you stick to the same group of people within the club, yes, you're connected to the club, but you're missing out on some amazing people around you. Don't feel afraid to reach out. There's so many people that you wouldn't normally talk to, that if you miss the opportunity to get to meet them, you could lose out on meeting such amazing people, and they might feel sort of invisible, and if you give them any sort of time of day, it just makes them feel awesome. And I think that's really what I've gotten out of the club, is that any sort of form of reaching out, it just truly means a lot. And yeah, I love the Rising Stars very much. I've loved the home they've given me for the past 4 years. I'm sad to leave it, but I know so many other people are gonna move into it and renovate it and make it even cooler than it was when I left it. So, thank you. And I'm gonna miss everyone. Yeah.
One thing I would like to pass down is just make sure that you wear, one, comfortable clothing whenever you're just on set, because it can get a little messy, in my experience at least, but come with an open heart and an open mind, and you're gonna meet so many fun, different people on campus, and they might end up being like your best friend forever. So just live in the moment and appreciate everything that's around you.
So I already kind of pass down what I wanted to say before during the My Little Mermaid Ghostlight thing. Like, I didn't really make a whole sob story. I just kind of was like, I'm a motivational speaker now, and I'm gonna tell you to include yourself, because that was a problem I had a lot when I first started. Was I was like, I am not cool enough for anyone here, and I'm not social enough, and my hands are gigantic, and that's just how it is. But I already made that whole speech. But what I am gonna say now is put work into your weakest link. I know people are probably gonna be sending in a lot of like inspirational social things, but I'm just gonna send you something that's just more just theater in general. Work on your weakest link. If you don't think you're a good dancer, go take a dance class. If you don't make a show, that's your time to work, and work on what you do. And make that happen for you. Like, I didn't make Big Fish my freshman year, and that was really sad for me. I like that was not a fun thing, but I knew that my dance audition kind of sucked, and I was dead in the face because I was so concentrating on my body. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna focus on my dance. And then I did, and I took 2 dance classes, and I did a chorus line, which is very dance heavy, and then I came back, and then I was a featured dancer in the next 2 musicals. So that's just, you take what you're weakest at and you work on it. And that is the advice that I want to pass down. It's not very heartfelt, but I think it's something people need to hear, because lots of people are going to be given heartfelt things, but I'm just telling you to work. So, have fun. Love you guys.
One thing I would like to pass down is to make as many new friends as possible, because they are going to be the only people really that see you throughout your whole 3 or 4 years here in theater and Rising Stars. And I think it'll really help having those people next to you, because if you think about it, if you don't have people to like talk to, especially like in classes like these, it's just, you're gonna have a really, really hard time. So I would definitely recommend making as many new friends as possible, because it's really gonna help you in the long run, and they're literally the sweetest people you'll ever meet.
And what I would recommend to all of my underclassmen watching this is, if you don't make a show or you don't make crew, do not let that discourage you. It definitely can suck not making something that you tried for, but never let that diminish your passion and your love for this program, because this is something you don't find at every high school. You know, join the club, try out next year, see if there's something that you can do to help. It is so important to stay involved.
I don't know, I really just learned to just have fun, go for it. There's always going to be those doubts and those fears and those, oh, I don't know if I should, and blah blah, and all that stupid stuff. Just do it. Just have a Nike moment. Just do it, you know? Put on your Nikes and just do it. Okay, have fun. Put on a smile. Breathe. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna live. Okay, I guarantee it. Like, I know there's all these things, and it seems like you're gonna die. I've felt that in theater numerous times. Okay, but I'm still alive. I'm fine, you know. I'm outside. It's nice, and that's not part of the story. Smile, breathe. You're gonna be fine. Have fun, okay? It goes by way quick. Have fun with it. You're gonna do great.
And if there's something I know and I want everyone to know going into theater, is that no matter how tough it gets, if you're really dedicated in being an actor, in being in a show and putting on a great show, no matter how tough it gets, you're gonna get through it. Because if you can live through the stress, then you can manage the success. To sum it up, Rising Stars gave me the best theater experience of my life, and I definitely recommend people seeking great theater experience to try out Rising Stars, because they'll definitely find some great theater experience there, guaranteed.
I learned so much in theater, and I think I wish I knew how fast it was gonna go, and I really feel blessed to have been a part of everything. So I think this is pretty much a cliche, but just cherish everything, just the small moments when you're backstage and watching things. I remember senior year, I'd have so many times where I'd just stop and I'd look around and I'd just breathe, and I'd feel really grateful and just take in everything that in our theater, because it's so special.
Advice I would give to other people, 100%, just do it. Even if it's embarrassing, I've learned so much from anything that is I've ever made a mistake on, or I don't know, as a senior, like, I wish I would have done more. And I know everybody says that, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, stop talking. But, like, seriously, like, I wish I would have, like, not second-guessed myself and been like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Like, no, like, I should have done that. Like, I should have done everything ever, because you really never know the next time in life you're ever going to do that. Like, there's not a lot of times in adulthood when you're going to get to do, like, Heritage Idol or, like, audition for a show or, you know, sing in front of people. I mean, unless you become, like, a celebrity, which the odds are kind of slim with that one. So just go for it, you know? You only live once. But, yeah.
My advice to the incoming rising stars is to be open. Be open to constructive criticism, be open to making new friends, and be open and ready to be thrown into the craziest situations of your lives, because Lord knows in this club it's gonna happen. If you choose it to be, this place will become your home for the next 4 years, and these people will become your family. And just be free to be yourselves, and you're gonna learn how to accept yourself for you. And just remember that we are all here to make something beautiful. And yeah, thanks, Rising Stars.